come back up to this part of the Avon, on the lower Avon. The river's up 8 inches on last week. Still not got a nice colour. It is fining down. It's dropped 2 or 3 inches, I suppose. Had an awful lot of rain since 10 days ago. Today I've got a Normark Avenger 2000 and a Dave Swallow, see if you can see it there, Dave Swallow centrepin, which is a bearing pin. I haven't used it for years. I dug it out and the line on it must have been 25 years old, really rotten, so I've put some new line on. I've got Croquill Avon, similar to, a bit bigger than the one I put on last week, and I'm going to attempt to fish a centrepin, which I've not done any on fast water for years, so this could be a bit of a mess. This centrepin has got a fibre drag which just presses against the back, so at the moment it's hardly moving, and I'll wind that off and I can start fishing. I don't know what I'm going to catch. I'm hoping for a few dace, maybe a roach or two, and take it from there. There's an upstream wind, and I'm gonna take me a little while to get this float right. At the moment, it's a lot sticking out. It's certainly pacey through here. I've added a number 4 to the bolt, and just trying to get it so it's got that balance between holding it back and not going under. That's a bit better with another number 4 on there. It's going down better. So looks like someone has fished this in the last couple of 3 days. Just a little bit too deep. Just another inch off. I'm slowly getting it right. It's what happened last week was I started to think it was the bottom all the time, and it wasn't. It was after a little while it was fish. I thought that was a fish, then it bonked a couple of times, and probably a small dace. There we go, nice little 3-ounce dace. I'm going to try another number 6 on the shot just to shot it down a bit more. It's an encouraging start, getting a fish. Me on a centrepin on very fast water, not common bedfellows. That's something I have done much at all of, so it's a bit of a challenge. With the upstream wind, it's not too bad, and it's going down reasonably well. it went down so well that time, I got a skin maggot without even seeing it. So there's some fish there. That's the important thing. As long as I catch a few, have a bit of fun with a different reel. Like last week, that was right underneath the feed. I'd rather they take down on the bottom, but another nice dace. Once again, I haven't seen a bite and I've been skinned. I got one bit of skin back from 2 maggots. Saw that one, that was on the drop. If I miss what even looks like a hint of a bite, I'm getting a skin back. I've got the float almost banksing up and down with the fish hanging on the end. All dace so far. Ah, the first roach of the day. First roach. Another roach. I think there's a lot of fish there on the drop. I think that's going to be my sign to switch over. Just put that secure. And, the difficult thing tackling up another rod is keeping the swim going. I've set up a 5 number 4 John Dean stick, got a number 4 under the float, 4 number 6s and a number 8 on the hook length, which has fallen off. Put that back on. Tried to keep these fish feeding while I've been tackling up. I think it'll take 5 minutes to get the rhythm again, and see if we can add to the dozen fish I've had so far. With the water up something like 8 inches, you think it'd be too fast for the light stick, but it's certainly straight into a dace. This was the rod I wanted to fish last week with the, that's a better one, that's much better. With the Allerton rod, 13 foot, 6 ounce dace there. It's important to lay the float with the line going downstream, so as it cocks it's coming down. And you can follow the float as it goes down, absolutely mangling the maggots that time. Just going to put it up 3 inches there, just give it see if it makes a difference. There's plenty of dace out there, a few little ones, not so many as last week so far. They do come and go, the better ones anyway. It'd be nice to get more roach, not quite sure how. It's right down the bottom of the swim. Don't really want to catch them down there. But it's a dace or a little chub or a roach. It's got into the weed. Ah, it's a roach. Another roach. Best dace of the day. It's a good fish. Getting on for £1/2. Ah, another roach. Though I'm basically running the stick float through with the upstream wind and the drag from the reel and the other bits and pieces, it is slowing it down a fair bit. Lost that one. A few of the fish are sticking their nose into a weed bed, and that time it came off. Mostly they're staying on. What I might try in a minute is with the centrepin and a bit of bread, put a bigger hook on. I've got some bread. Just see if it picks up a roach, maybe on a 14. I don't think this is a great roach swim, nothing compared to those further downstream. I've had half a dozen roach so far. Not much of a muchness, sort of 3 or 4 ounces. I'm going to put a number, I've been using 2 number 8s, I'm going to put a number 6 as a dropper. Still going to feed a few maggots. I just want a nice punch. That'll do. Got a Hovis white thick sliced because they were just going cheap. But just going to drop a ball of ground bait in at the top of the swim. Don't know how well this is going to get down, this bread, but interesting to see if I do get a roach or even a dace on a bit of bread. See what's out there. Got a fairly decent sized bread punch on. Right at the end of the trot on a bit of bread, first bite that I know of. I think it's very big, whatever it is. Interested to see if it's a dace or a roach, or even a chub. It's an awful lot of winding. I'm used to Mitchell matches winding in. Yeah, it's a little roach. Unfortunately, my experiment with the centrepins ending in tears, I ended up with an almighty tangle. Can't be bothered to sort out. I did get a fish on bread. That's another small roach. It was hard work. The line's binding in. I don't think that's a very good line on. I'm going to have to think about what line to put on it. I will try it again. When instead of paying off line, it sticks, sort of beds in itself and carries on. That's back on the stick. We've got to fish straight away. I don't think it's very big. The roach seem to be showing even better today than last week. It's 10 I've had now. More flow, maybe the dace have had a paste in, I don't know. Lots of dace there still, no small chub at all. Yet another roach. Today this light stick on the 13-foot Allerton has proved perfect really. The 15-foot Colmick rod's a very good rod, and that extra length can give you an advantage in really deep water, but in fast shallow water this is just so light and nice to use. It's perfect for dace fishing. The other rod, the Avenger 2000, is also, it's slightly different action, very forgiving, although it's got some real power further down, but also nice to use on this sort of water. This rod, if anything, is a little bit lighter, but it's got quite a heavy reel on it. The light's gone quite a lot now, and the dace have moved up under the stick float, under where the stick float's landing, the bait's landing. The roach had come on a bit more. I did put some of that liquidised bread, and whether that turned them on a bit more I don't know, or whether the light changing has improved. It's been a brilliant couple of hours fishing today. I think this idea, like last week, of experimenting with floats is a good one. Different rigs, different floats, different shotting, and it's more interesting than just bagging up, seeing how many you can catch and try and see what works, what doesn't work. I'd love to fish the really good roach stretches on the Avon, but they're too busy, and I think I'd make them even busier if I went down there. Nice to fish them, but no way I'm going to film on there. Not again. I have filmed down there and had some decent roaching days. This sort of fishing's really simple. I haven't used a lot of bait. I had some old bait from last week. I've used those up, and I've used a third of a pint of maggots in a couple of hours, a bit of bread. Really all you need is a half decent float rod. The reel that you prefer can be a fixed spool or a close face or a centrepin. I need to have a few more goes with the pin, get that reel sorted out. Need to find some line that doesn't stick the way that line is. The bait hasn't made a lot of difference. Maggots has been fine today. I think if I change the float on here and fish bread, I'd probably get some more roach. I'm catching roach. All the roach bar one have been on maggots anyway, so that's been good. I've had about 40 fish, I suppose. Not as many as last week, but I've been more messing around, experimenting. Someone has fished this swim since then. I could see boot marks. If they had a lot of fish or what, I have no idea. They might have been spinning for all I know. But certainly good fun. I've also learnt a little bit about the levels on the Avon. The fields are pretty soggy out there, but the Avon's well within its banks. It's not 3 fields wide. It's got a lovely tinge of colour. You can see at least over a foot into it, but it's not tap water, not turgid, not like drinking chocolate, and the fish are feeding. When you see the state of the maggots, if I miss a bite or if I get a bite and you see a couple of bits of or a bit of skin, and that's about it. Oh, a bleak. Had a couple last week, one tiny little bleak. Strange I've had no choblets so far, but I might have lost one a little while ago. I had a fish dug. There's a little weed bed just down there, and one fish got well and truly stuck in it, and I ended up just pulling a piece of weed out and no fish. So that could have been a choblet. I think I ended up with 3 last week. Just for a change, I'm going to try single maggot. I've been on double. I'm very much a fan of double maggots for dace and roach, and just going to try a single. Not something I do very often. Probably catch another bleak or something stupid like that. Caught a little one, little dace. I'm going to call it a day with that. Quite a nice dace, 5 ounces. I've ended up with about 40 dace, I think 11 roach, a little bleak. Hope you've enjoyed the variation I've been doing on this last 3 hours of fishing. All good fun, different floats, different shotting patterns. Even tried bread for a little while, but not really set up right. I've learnt a bit about my pin setup, so I need to sort out the line. Where I do the cork hood on that rod, it's not tightening up enough. There's quite a small foot on the Dave Swallow centre pin, and it doesn't really tighten up how I'd like it. So I need to look at that, either put a bit of rubber underneath the thing, or I don't know what to do, but it shouldn't be difficult to fix that without ruining the real seat. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.